Hello there. Welcome to Rambling Unlimited. My name is Daniel. Today in episode 7, we'll be talking about Nigeria and politics. This is because the Nigerian general elections will be in February 2019, next year. There are two main political parties in Nigeria, but there are some other up-and-coming ones which we will discuss in coming episodes. For now, we have All Progressives Congress Party, APC, and People's Democratic Party, PDP. We are going to concentrate our discourse today on retired Major General Muhammadu Buhari, the incumbent president of Nigeria, a man whom many saw as the anti-corruption guy, but many others say that he is among the most ruthless and power-hungry individuals that ever existed in Nigeria. I'll give you a summary of his life, the positions he's occupied, the roles he's played, and then you can decide for yourselves who he really is. Muhammadu Buhari was born in 1942. He's a retired Major General in the Nigerian Army and previously served as the nation's head of state from 31st December 1983 to 27 August 1985 after taking power in a military coup d'etat. Not too long ago, he unsuccessfully ran for the office of President of Nigeria in 2003, 2007, and 2011. However, in December 2014, he emerged as the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, APC, for the March 2015 general elections and won the election, defeating the incumbent president, Goodluck Jonathan. A little bit of history. First, the Nigerian Civil War, also known as the Biafran War, was between the Nigerian government and the peoples of Biafra, who, because of pogroms and killings and maltreatment by the North, decided to break out of the country. So there was a war between the two in 1967 to 1970. Buhari, as a Northerner, was fighting for the Nigerian army and was initially assigned as adjutant and company commander, 2nd Battalion Unit, 2nd Sector Infantry of the 1st Division. This was one of the first units to participate in the Biafran War. He was tasked with capturing Enugu, the capital of Biafra. They started near Afikpo, then continued towards Ogoja. Within a week, they reached and captured Ogoja, hoping to advance through Nkalago and Abakaliki to Enugu. However, before moving on to Enugu, Buhari was posted to Nsukka as the Brigade Major of the 3rd Infantry Brigade. Later in 1968, he was posted to Oka Sector, also known as 4 Sector. Their main assignment? Capture Onitsha. This was a serious thing because their operations was within the Oka, Abagana, Onitsha region, which was a very important and major source of food supply for the Biafrans. One can say then that he took a very significant part in the death of hundreds of thousands of people through starvation and murder. After the war, from 1970 to 1971, Buhari was Brigade Major Commandant, 31st Infantry Brigade. He was the Assistant Adjutant General, 1st Infantry Division Headquarters from 1971 to 1972. From 1974 to 1975, Buhari was Acting Director of Transport and Supply at the Nigerian Army Corps of Supply and Transport Headquarters. Buhari participated in July 1975 coup as a Lieutenant Colonel when he joined other officers led by Colonels Ibrahim Taiwo, Joseph Garuba, Abdullahi Mohammed, Anthony Ochefu, Lieutenant Colonels Shehu Musa Yaradua, Ibrahim Babangida, and Alfred Aduloju to overthrow the then head of state, General Yakubu Gowon. He served as the governor of the northeastern state and also of Borno State. In 1976, the then head of state, General Olusegun Obasanjo, appointed Muhammadu Buhari as the Federal Commissioner, position now called Minister for Petroleum and Natural Resources. In 1977, he was also appointed Chairman, Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation. During his tenure as Commissioner, $2.8 billion allegedly went missing from the accounts of the NNPC in Midlands Bank in the United Kingdom. From 1978 to 1979, he was military secretary at the Army headquarters. From 1978 to 1979, he was also a member of the Supreme Military Council. A member of the Supreme Military Council belongs to the highest ranking officers group in the country. Other roles include General Officer Commanding 4th Infantry Division, August 1980 to January 1981, General Officer Commanding 2nd Mechanized Infantry Division, January 1981 to October 1981, General Officer Commanding 3rd Armored Division, Nigerian Army, October 1981 to December 1983. Buhari also served as the chairman of the Petroleum Trust Fund, a body created by the government of General Sadi Abacha and funded from the revenue generated by the increase in the price of petroleum products to pursue developmental projects around the country. Major General Buhari was one of the leaders of the December 1983 military coup that overthrew the democratically elected government of President Shehu Shagari. At the time of the coup plot, Buhari was the general officer commanding the 3rd Armored Division of Jos. Many people say that Buhari killed the Second Republic because this coup ended Nigeria's short-lived Second Republic, a period of multi-party democracy that started in 1979. According to the New York Times, the officers who took power argued that a flawed democracy was worse than no democracy at all. That was Buhari and his cohorts. With the successful execution of the coup by General Buhari, Tunde Idiabo was appointed Chief of General Staff, who is the number 2 person in the administration. Human rights. In Decree number 2 of 1984, the State Security and the Chief of Staff were given the power to detain without charges individuals deemed to be a security risk to the state for up to 3 months. Strikes and popular demonstrations were banned, and the National Security Organization, NSO, were trusted with unprecedented powers in the cracking down of public dissent by intimidating, harassing, and jailing individuals who broke the law and went on strikes. Because of this, by October 1984, about 200,000 civil servants were retrenched. Buhari also jailed people who are critical of his actions. The critics of his were put in jail, as in the case of Afrobeat singer Fela Nicola Bokuti. He was arrested on 4 September 1984 at the airport and was charged with illegally exporting foreign currency, which Amnesty International described as spurious charges. The government sentenced Fela to 5 years in prison regardless. In 1984, Buhari passed Decree number 4, the most repressive press law ever enacted in Nigeria, called the Protection Against False Accusations Decree. Section 1 of the law provided that any person who publishes in any form, whether written or otherwise, any message, rumor, report, or statement which is false in any material particular, or which brings or is calculated to bring the federal military government or the government of a state or public officer to ridicule or disrepute shall be guilty of an offense under this decree. The law further stated that offending journalists and publishers will be tried by an open military tribunal whose ruling will be final and unappealable in any court, and those found guilty will be eligible for a fine not less than 10,000 naira and a jail sentence of up to 2 years. Tunde Thompson and then Dr. Rabo of The Guardian were among the journalists who were tried under this decree. Buhari passed Decree number 20 on illegal ship bunkering and drug trafficking. Section 32K provided that any person who without lawful authority deals in, sells, smokes, or inhales the drug known as cocaine or other similar drugs shall be guilty under Section 63K of an offense and liable on conviction to suffer death sentence by firing squad. In the case of Bernard Ogedengbe, the decree was applied retroactively. He was executed even though he was arrested at the time when this law was not in effect. At the time he was arrested, the offense carried a 6 months imprisonment, but he was killed. In another prominent case in 1985, 6 Nigerians were condemned to death under the same decree. Sidikatu Tyrese, Shola Guntayo, Oladele Omoshebi, Lasukami Awolola, Jimmy Adebayo, and Gladys Iyama. I experienced this government. I experienced Buhari's government. There was what we call war against indiscipline, in which case soldiers were walking the streets with guns and whips, horse whips. And if you are in a bus stop and you are not in line, you get spanked. You get flogged. Not spanked, flogged. And they will ask you to do frog jumps. If you go to work a little bit late, same applies. You're walking on the street and you chew gum and drop a piece of paper on the ground, you are in trouble. You're not going to go to court. You're not going to go to jail. They punish you right there and then. They whip you like a horse, like a cow. So, well, now you have heard the story. Muhammadu Buhari, the president of Nigeria today, who is looking to be the president of Nigeria for the next 4 years. He wants to be voted again. Well, you decide. Is he really a patriotic Nigerian trying to help Nigerians? The anti-corruption guy? Or is he that guy that is so ambitious that he can do basically anything to get himself into a position of power? I will let you be the decider of that. I will talk to you in the next episode. Thank you for watching. See you there.